And we are back here on the GSMC Baseball Podcast. And for the second part of the show, we'll talk about the American League scores from last night. More specifically, the Orioles clinching the AL East and the Mariners walking it off against the Rangers. So we'll get into the Orioles. They picked up their 100th win on the season against the Red Sox. Dean Kramer got the win, improving to 13-5 on the season with the 4.12 ERA, and Chris Sale dropped to 6-5, 4.3 ERA, and Wells picked up his first save of the season. And how the Orioles got those 2 runs, Anthony Santander hit his 28th home run on the season, and then Heston Kjerstad doubled that scored a run, and that was the only scoring of the game. But the Orioles get the division, they get 100 wins, and they get home field throughout the playoffs. And listen, as a Yankee fan, and my friends were talking about it in the chat today, saying how it seems like Yankee fans are like happy for the Orioles. I mean, to me, there's really no animosity towards the Orioles. I would probably say, out of all the teams in the division, I'd probably rank the Orioles last in terms of, I would say, I don't know, I guess dislike. Because the Yankees-Red Sox rivalry, there's that. The Blue Jays have just been kind of annoying over the last couple years. So obviously with Alek Manoah calling Garrett Cole the biggest cheater in baseball history. And then you got Vladimir Guerrero talking about never wanting to sign with the Yankees, and then when he was celebrating last year and saying how this is this is my house, and it's just, yeah, I don't know why they just started unnecessary beef with the Yankees. So, and then the Rays are just the showboating and stuff is annoying. But listen, the Rays are a very good team. The Blue Jays had a better season than the Yankees. So, obviously, when they're good, you're going to respect them being good. But with the Orioles, it's I don't know. I don't really have any... To me, there's really no animosity there. I mean, I guess for other Yankee fans, they just don't like Aaron Hicks, so they hope Aaron Hicks does very bad. But I think for me is, he's not on the team anymore, so it really doesn't have any impact on me whatsoever. So, but... yeah, I mean, good for the Orioles. I mean, we talked about the last time they played in a postseason game, who was in their lineup. So it's very different now. And, yeah, I mean, listen, there's some concerns with them, and I've talked about this. But, I think they have a good lineup. They got a good bullpen. So we'll see how it goes. We'll see how they line up the rotation come playoff time. I mean, I don't know who they're going to start game 1. I would guess... To me, I think Bradish probably gets the start because I feel like he's kind of been their best starter. I mean, Dean Kramer's won 13 games. You got Flaherty. You got Kyle Gibson. So, I don't know. We'll see, unless I'm missing somebody. But that is their rotation pretty much. I'm missing one of their other starters, Grayson Rodriguez. So, I think, to me, Bradish probably starts game 1. I mean, I could be wrong, but I'm just assuming that. But... yeah, I mean, they're going to play the winner of, I guess, the last wild card team and the Central. So, it's either going to be, well, right now the Astros have the third wild card spot. So, it's, I don't really know. But, yeah, I mean, going up against, if it's the Astros in the first round, I mean, that's a tough first round opponent. That's as tough as it's going to get, and especially because they're the defending champs. But the Orioles played very well against the Astros, especially in Houston. So, but again, playoffs are different. And I think, it's a young team and they're going to feed off of the energy of the ballpark. So, I don't know. We'll see how it goes. We're going to just, the Twins, I feel like whoever they play against, I'm just going to not pick them. I'm going to pick the other team, but, because it's the Astros. If it's the Astros, it's the Astros. The Mariners are a good team. So, I don't know. But, yeah, Orioles, congrats to them on winning the division. And, yeah, I mean, they got the best record in the American League. And how about that? I mean, not a lot of people expected that. So now we'll go into the Mariners-Rangers game. So the Rangers were winning 2-1 going into the bottom of the ninth, and I actually was able to catch the very end of the game on my way back from New York City last night. And as I was going into the tunnel and I lost connection, it was when J.P. Crawford hit his the 2-run walk-off single in the bottom of the ninth. And it didn't look good because, so we'll go through the summary. So Tavares, he hit a solo home run, his 14th on the season. Dolis Garcia hit his 39th home run to put him up 2-0. Julio Rodriguez hit his 32nd to make it 2-1. Well, J.P. Crawford RB a double, 2-run double to win the game in the bottom of the ninth. But yeah, it didn't look good because I put it on and it was bases loaded, nobody out. And the ex-Yankee Mike Ford comes up to the plate. And Ford popped out. Well, he flew out to center field. And then Josh Rojas, he popped out to third. Josh Young made a nice play there. So then there's 2 outs, and he got the top of the lineup up. And I'm saying, man, if they lose this game, that is going to be so tough. Because, I mean, it drives me crazy when, watching the Yankees and they, have runners in scoring position and they don't score. Because there's been times, bases loaded. If you got the bases loaded and nobody out and you can't score, that is one of the most infuriating things, especially if you're a fan of the team. Like, you can't scratch off at least 1 run. But then J.P. Crawford comes up, and like I said, as I'm in the tunnel about to lose connection, he hits the ball to left field, and the play is not made. The ball drops, hits the wall, and 2-run score, and the Mariners end up winning a big game. 3-2, the final score there. So let's go look at the we'll look at the wild card really quick. So yeah, we got the graphic for today, of course, which is just looking at the. So obviously the top spot is the Rays, so I cut them off because that's pretty much where they're locked in. So right now, Blue Jays picked up a win against the Yankees, so they're 88-71. The Astros didn't play last night; they started 3-game set with the Diamondbacks tonight. So they're 87-72, and then the Mariners are 1 game back. They're 86-73. So that's the updated wild card standings going into the weekend. So, so that's a big win. That's a big win for the Mariners. So now with the division, when it comes to the AL West, so right now the Rangers are 2 games up on the Astros, and they're 3 games up on the Mariners. So, I don't think, if the Rangers got swept, that would just be, like, insane, but I don't see that happening. But you never know. Mariners are going to maybe try to get revenge for them getting swept last week. So, but, yeah, I don't see it happening. I think the Rangers still take the division, but anything is possible, of course, as you can see. So, but yeah, that's a huge win for the Mariners. That would have been a crushing loss. They got to win these games. They do, because if they lose, it really is at the point where if they lose any of these games, they're done. And yeah, they're still going to need the Astros to lose. Astros are playing the Diamondbacks, who lost to the White Sox yesterday. So, nothing's really set in stone with, the Diamondbacks' playoff positioning. Right now, they're a game and a half up on the Marlins, but again, we have seen that things can change in an instant, and there's only 3 days left. But yeah, so that's going to be a tough series for the Astros, but I think they're going to be okay. I think the Mariners still are ultimately going to be on the outside looking in, but that's just me. The Blue Jays, so we'll get into the Blue Jays. So they got a big win yesterday, winning 6-0 against the Yankees, which, again, kind of expected that to happen. Luke Weaver pitched okay. I think he pitched 4 2/3. Let's just look at the box score really quick. Yeah, he only pitched 4 innings. 4 innings, gave up 2 runs, 2 home runs. He gave up 6 strikeouts. Zach McAllister came in. He gave up 3 runs. Yankees just couldn't get anything going against Chris Bassett, which, again, I kind of figured. 12 strikeouts. He had 7 2/3 innings pitched. So, yeah, pitched very well, which, again, I kind of expected. So Dalton Varsho, he got it started off with the solo home run. Matt Chapman homered. Kevin Biggio singled to score a run. Brandon Belt hit a 3-run home run in the bottom of the sixth, and that's your summary there. So yeah, Blue Jays pick up a huge win, and I kind of expected them to salvage this final game because again, Yankees are trotting out Luke Weaver in 2023. So I expected the Blue Jays. I mean, in the beginning, I mean the first run didn't score till the third inning, so you're thinking, the Blue Jays, why aren't they're not scoring? But then they scored a run in the third, the fourth, the fifth, and then obviously Brandon Belt hit a 3-run home run. And that, the Yankees offense just didn't do anything last night. So, so the Blue Jays right now, game up on the Astros, and they start a 3-game set with the Rays this weekend. And the Rays are pretty much locked into where they are as that second wild card. So, or the first wild card. Sorry, I meant to say first. So they could maybe rest guys. They might not. I think it all depends. But, again, they were kind of in the same position the Brewers are in where it's like we want to stick it to our division rival and knock them out. So they could do that. So, but yeah, I mean, if the Blue Jays were to lose the game to Luke Weaver last night, I mean, I would have came on and said, what the heck was that? But it didn't happen. But and then as for the Yankees, they're trying to keep their streak going of finishing over 500. So, I mean, now they're playing the Royals this weekend. So, I mean, I don't expect them to get swept by the Royals. But, who knows at this point. The other American League scores, so the Tigers, they swept the doubleheader against not the doubleheader, but the suspended game and then the other game after that. So they finished off the win from yesterday or 2 days ago, and then they finished. So they won that game, and then they won the other game as well, 7-3. So right. That's what I think so. Whatever it was, 7-3, and then 8-0. Those were the scores there. So they got that. So they're at 76 and 83 on the season. Torkelson hit his 30th home run. So yeah, I mean, listen, that's the future with the Tigers. So hitting 30 home runs was impressive for him. So they got to build. Tigers got to build around Spencer Torkelson, and try to get back to being, a contender like they were in the early 2010s. So. And then the Twins, they lost to the A's. I mean, Twins are pretty much locked into the spot they're in as the third seed, so nothing really to talk about there. That's pretty much it when it comes to the American League scores from yesterday. So with that, we are going to take our second break of the show. And then when we come back, we are going to discuss the National League side of things and obviously talking about the Cubs getting swept by the Braves and how big that was because now they are on the outside looking in. And then, of course, we'll get into the Marlins and Mets game getting suspended, which Skip Schumacher was not happy about the manager for the Marlins. And I'll be honest, I didn't know he was the manager for the Marlins. I did know, but I don't think I really thought about it. But yeah, Skip Schumacher, that's another immaculate grid name right there. So, but yeah, we'll talk about that. Marlins got to finish up this game with the Mets today, although I don't know. I mean, I guess they'll get it in, but right now it's the weather's not looking good. But I mean, it's a very important game because the Marlins are in the wild card race. So, but yeah, we'll talk about all that when we get back. So, stick around, and we will be right back here on the GSMC Baseball Podcast.